Back on Betty today. Last left off with this truck, the last video was rebuilding the quadrajet carburetor. Pretty sure I got that rebuilt. I got it back together, cleaned up, and hopefully I did it right and it'll continue to work. It did fire before. If you guys have been following along in the first video on this, kind of the walkthrough video, it did fire, and that scared me because I didn't expect it to start. So now I do expect it to start, and if it doesn't, I probably screwed the carburetor up somehow, but hopefully not. I've got it reinstalled and hooked back up, so we're gonna see if we can fire this thing up and let it idle for a little bit. If it does, we're gonna skip the carburetor stuff, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna get this thing on the road. So we gotta do any tuning of the carburetor we need to do to get it to run right, get fresh fuel in, get the alternator hooked back up because that wire melted in that first episode and that was bad. So got to rewire the alternator because right now I don't have any charging system in this. Clean up the wires in here, nothing else, just get them zip tied and get them up out of the way so I don't accidentally light something else on fire or get it caught in a fan blade or something. Ignition back in the dash that I pulled out just to do the wire testing on, and get this thing on the ground and see if it will drive. Run around the block and see how it drives, see if it'll shift, and we do some work to do on the transmission. The park lockout isn't locking out, so it'll just like fall out of park into reverse. So I got up off the ground on jack stands, so in case it is in gear when I fire it, the wheels don't rocket this thing into my chest. For now, I just want to see if it'll run, drive, stop. That's our goal today. I'm going to cap off all of the vacuum lines that I'm not using, just to make sure I don't have any vacuum leak. I don't know what's supposed to be connected, what's not. So we'll just basically cap everything off. As I need it, for whatever, then I'll, hook something up to it. So like the wipers are vacuum driven and that hose is cracked and dry rotted. So I don't think it works. So I'll plug that. That's a manifold vacuum. Comes off of here. So if I could just plug it there. Yep, let's just get rid of that altogether. Get a good snug fit. We got one in the back. I don't know what the one in the back is for. Back here. Okay, so capped there. We got fresh gas in, about maybe 2 or 3 gallons of gas, nothing crazy. It's always too much fuel just yet. So let's get the key in and let's see how she purrs, if she purrs. Yes, as soon as I give it a little gas, it wants to stall. She idles nice though. He's smoking. All right. Well, she idles great. Smokes like crazy. The smoke coming out of here is spilled fluid. I spilled oil over here. I spilled brake fluid over there when I was messing around with it. So not concerned about that, but there's a ton of smoke coming out the exhaust. So it's burning some oil. And it just may need, maybe, I don't know, if it's sitting a long time, may need to run it for a while, let everything kind of heat up and expand again. Probably will do that outside because I've now filled my shop here full of smoke. So let's get a fan on and get the door open and fumigate this place. But we got it to start and idle. So now we want to work on this alternator. The original wiring harness that came on it, it got a little damaged on the far end of these wires, so I just trim these off. I'll probably trim them a little closer to this connector because there's a little bit of damage, especially on the black wire here. So this is the charging port. This is the cable that will run right to the battery, or in my case, I'm going to run it to the starter where the battery cable positive connection is made down there, and just kind of jumper it to the battery. That's the output to charge the battery. This harness here plugs in here. Normally these are numbered, but I think this is so old. There's usually a 1 and a 2. Yeah, okay, there's a 1 on this side and a 2 on this side. So the number 1 wire, that's this black one, runs all the way up to the keyed power inside the cab. That's the exciter wire. And then this one is the constant power. Constant one, this one here, I'm just going to put a little connector on here and just jumper it to here, because since that's going back to the starter for constant, constant connection, it's feeding that way. But the battery can also feed back this way through it. So it doesn't have to be separated. It can be jumpered together. So I'm just going to do that, and it just saves me on some wire. So let's put a ring connector on here, pop it there, and then I'll splice this with, there was a wire that was already here for this that went in that got melted. So I cut off the spot where it melted, and if I have enough slack, which I don't think that I do, I can run it back to here, but I probably will just splice onto here, splice on the other end of that wire. There's 19 wire nuts in here. Anyway, what's one more? I changed my mind. The whole idea of splice after splice after splice, like I'm just not going to do that. So I'm just going to cut some new wire here. And let's see what gauge we got working with here. This is probably 12 gauge. That's what that is, I think. And we'll get this fanned out. I like to use these solder connections. So what I'll do is you heat these up with a heat gun, and then the solder just melts and connects everything together. And so it makes a good strong connection, and then that waterproofs it. The waterproofing part isn't as critical, and then I'll throw some heat string tubing around it just to cover it up, so it'll all be black in color. So I'll just fan these out like this, and then interlace them together. A lot of ways you can do this. You can twist them together. Obviously, you can throw a wire nut on here. There's 900 wire nuts in here anyway, but you can just solder them if you want. You can just crimp a butt connector on it if you want. Like I said, there's a lot of ways you can do it. I'm not saying any more wrong. This is just how I like to do it. And then let's get that off there and just feed that solder connection over top of the wires, and then we'll get the heat gun out and we'll warm that up and melt that solder. Where's the heat gun at? You can do this with a torch. You can do it with like a Bic lighter if you want. The open flame, I have a really hard time with it. That's the way most people do it, but I have a hard time with it, and I end up actually burning the insulation off. Stay there. Stay. And creating an actually worse problem than I already have. So this takes a little longer, but it doesn't light everything on fire. And you'll see eventually, you'll see the solder start to melt. It'll get real shiny. Okay, so I just used, there was an existing wire here that was just dangling here and wasn't being used for anything. So I used that as a fish. Just fish this wire up into the cab. I'll pull the rest of it through, and I gotta find that nut that I lost. Also just dropped a socket down here I gotta dig out. That's fun. So then we'll get that end tied up, put a connector on, and screw it down to our fuse block. All right, I'll pull the rest of it through on the inside. Here's the wire we fished in. Just cut the old wire off. Got plenty of slack we can pull. There we go. And then we'll just cut this to length. We'll connect that wire up here to this side, one of these lower connections. That's the switched power coming in, so I want this bank. So that's the radio connection. I probably could unhook that right now. I don't have a functional radio. This goes to these little connectors that do I don't know what. So we'll leave that for now. And this one is the dome light. So we'll come off this radio one right here. Put ring connector on, grab it down. Okay, so I'm gonna go back out there to the hood, under the hood, and run wire from the charging port in the alternator back to the battery. For this wire, I'm going to use a little bit thicker gauge. This is 10 gauge wire. It's only 12 on the system right now, but I figure you can't really have too high a gauge wire. And this end will go on to where the battery hookup is on the starter. A lot of wires in that one little spot. I don't love that. I probably will redo that later. Oh, that's the socket I dropped. That's right. Where'd you go, little socket? There we go. Now it's snug. Okay. Let's find this nut somewhere. Okay, I found it. It's on my work, the little cart. Forgot. I didn't lose this one. Add that one to this one. Again, just trying to keep everything off the manifold so it doesn't heat up and melt. So alternator should be wired up. We'll have to fire it up and see. What else do we need to do before we get this thing on the ground? Oh, I didn't put that ignition back together. I think before that, I'll just make sure to zip all these wires up. They were in a rapidly deteriorating wire loom. And I just ripped them out a bit. So now I'm just gonna, this is odd here. This wire's been like bent up and twisted around, and we'll clean that up later too. Actually, I think I'll probably get like a universal wiring harness, redo them. And then we can, we get these wires redone and prettied up and put in a nice loom, and we'll clean this engine bay up a little bit. But for now, now we just get everything out of harm's way. Okay, so the rest of this is the horn that doesn't even work. That is, what do I call that one? Headlights. May or may not work. Put a connector on the headlights just in case. And wire that up there. If you're gonna do any kind of wiring and crimping, I highly, highly, highly recommend one of these crimp tools. It's made my life so much easier. Done. Donezo. All right. And I'll put this with the dome light. Might as well keep all the lights together. That way that would be switched though. Actually, I think I want the headlights to be able to be on without the key. That's how every other car runs. You can turn your headlights on without the key on. Why would this be any different? All right. Like I said before, I'll probably get, when I do that wiring harness, it'll come with a new fuse block with blade fuses instead of these glass ones. Probably a turn signal relay, which I haven't even tried the turn signals. I don't even know if they work. It's got an aftermarket add-on deal on the steering column, but I don't see any relay anywhere, nor do I see a hookup for one. So I don't know what would make them flash unless it's built into the unit. This goes up here. Like that, and there was a little nut that went over that. Where'd that go? There it is. Wasn't a thin nut, it was a little cap. The tack might work. We'll see. I have my doubts. We'll see if it works. I get all the rest of the stuff shored up and out of the way of the pedal. But for now, I'll just zip tie them. Okay, don't know if I have brakes, don't know if the transmission works. It's on the ground, everything's hooked up. bad gearage. We got reverse. Man, that thing smokes like crazy. Got the fan on. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's awfully loud in here. So we're gonna wrap this up for tonight. It's getting kind of late and I'm kind of hungry, so I'm gonna go get some dinner. We're almost there. Almost on the road. Didn't quite make it today. Something with the transmission. I had drive for a couple of feet. It moved forward. You saw it. But then it quit, and I don't know what's up with that. Have reverse, have park, but then I lost all drive. I tried going down the gears. It didn't give me anything. So obviously it's a trans issue of some sort. I'll have to figure that out. I'll do that another day. It moved under its own power ever so slightly, and I'll take that as a win today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something as always. Hope you get a little confidence to work on your project. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.